week goes on. But yeah, with Bryce down right now, I'm getting the reps and preparing like I do every week.
With this new short yardage role, it seems like you're going to play one way or another. How have you embraced that so far?
Yeah, you get some action, get to be part of the game, and it was effective on one of them last week, and like to think it could have been on the first one too. So yeah, it was fun to have a role and to be part of it.
As a quarterback that getting these reps today, the big install day, how significant is that for any quarterback? I mean, what is Bryce missing when he's not out there?
Well, I mean, I think at the end of the day, for him, he's not gonna have these reps today in practice, but he's had these reps for all training camp, OTAs, all that kind of stuff. So it's not like, yeah, I mean, you'd love to have the week of practice, but that doesn't affect anything when you go into a game.
What's the biggest challenge playing in Seattle?
I think it's just handling all of the environment, the noise, just all the extra stuff. You just got to make sure that you have that extra bit of focus that you have to have, and you every week you want to make sure you're communicating well. But I mean, when you go into an environment like this, you definitely have to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Thomas just told us, he said Bryce got hurt in the first half Monday. Did you see the play where he got hurt?
I did not.
Did you know? When did you?
No, I didn't know anything.
Does this situation remind you at all of 21 in Chicago, where early in the season you started and then you got hurt, and then you came, that you were already working with the number one pick and getting early playing time?
Yeah, I mean, the situation is a little bit different because I went in week one as a starter, and then I was the one that got hurt. I think the situation is a little different from that aspect of, knowing that Bryce, he came in and he was going to be the starter, and is, from the beginning we knew that was going to happen. And so, whenever Bryce is healthy, I mean, he's going to step right back in there and he's going to be the one playing.
As a quarterback, is this a good chance for him to just take a step back after 2 games and just to see the big picture and learn from that?
And, I think there's 2 thoughts on that. Yeah, you can say it that way if you want. You get to take a step back. You don't have you get to see the game from a different perspective, but also the best thing is playing. That's the best experience is the best thing for you to make you better. And so, there's 2 thoughts on all that, but we'll just see how it goes this week.
If you do get a chance to play on Sunday, and you've had a chance now to watch this team for a couple of games on the sidelines, how do you think you can help the offense a little bit, and maybe jumpstart them where it hasn't been as smooth as some has hoped?
For me, I'm just going to operate like I know that I can. I think for me, it just starts with being myself and pushing guys, pushing the tempo, pushing everything that we need to do to give ourselves a chance. And I think at the end of the day, if you look at our couple games, we've hurt ourselves, and we've had opportunities to kind of change the outcome of some of these games, but then we've had a setback. We've had some turnovers that hurt us and different things. So for me, I'm just going out there and try to be as efficient as I can.
Andy, you were a starter for a long time, kind of transitioned into that veteran backup role. Was last year coming in and playing for an extended time and playing pretty well, was that kind of validation for you?
I think for me, like you said, I've played everywhere I've been, and I've had a significant amount of playing time everywhere I've been. I just had the 9 years in Cincy when Dak got hurt. Got to play a majority of that season as well. Even in Chicago, I had some, and then last year to have it. So it's like I wouldn't say it's validation. I'm not trying to convince anybody with what I can do. I think for me, once I got here and got to be around the staff and got to be around these players, my whole goal was just to be me and to show them how I operate, how I do things, and people here have been very receptive of what I've been able to do. And then also taking on the role of helping out Bryce and making sure that we can get him up to speed on everything that he needs to do and needs to know from all the different aspects of the game. So validation, I wouldn't say that, because I know what I'm capable of.
How would you describe the noise in Seattle, and have there been moments where you played there where it's really impacted you?
Yeah, it's definitely a great environment. When you talk about the NFL and the environments and crowd noise. And this is definitely one of those places that first hits your brain. And so, like I said, it can become a factor in the game if you let it, but that's where you've got to make sure you're communicating well.
Andy,
Speaking
Bryce.
of that being a factor in the game, is it almost impossible for the rookies that are on the offense this year to really understand what that's going to be like?
I think everybody's played in crowd noise at this point. Especially got some, Chandler's Vala, playing the ACC. There's some big environments there. Mingo's played in the SEC. So there's some big environments there too. So crowd noise has become a factor. So I think everybody understands what we're going into.
Bryce is a guy who only missed one game in 3 seasons at Alabama. How has he kind of responded? How has he been dealing with this?
He's been good. He's been locked in. It's like any other week for him, and he's handled it well. And so we'll just kind of see how the week progresses for him.
You said that you felt like the first couple of weeks you guys beat yourselves. Why do you feel like the offense maybe hasn't had the type of success that we expected from you all early this season?
Yeah, I don't think there's one thing that has caused it. I feel like it's been different things every single time. Different guys taking turns on whether we missed assignments or just the execution just hasn't been there. And that's the thing with offensive football. Everybody's got to be on the same page. Everybody has to be working together for it to work. And it hasn't happened at times, and our goal is to get that fixed and get it rolling.
Thomas brought up that sometimes you'll coach up the younger wide receivers. That was what Josh was known for when he was a player too. I'm just curious, how important is it for the quarterback to work in that role as kind of like a player coach with other offensive players?
It's definitely big, and especially for me in the position that I've been in, I'm just an extension of Bryce. And so if I know Bryce is thinking something, he may not have the time to go up and say something to a receiver. He maybe he's taking another rep and they're on the side. So I think it's making sure everybody's on the same page of what we want and what we're expecting to allow us to click and to flow how we need to.
Is Luton ready to be a backup if needed on Sunday?
He'll be ready to go.
Why the smile?
He just got here. He was here in camp, so it's not like he. It's not like he's missing out. Obviously, he missed the first 2 weeks, but he already knows the system.
Andy, you've obviously played in the league for a really long time. You've got a lot of tape. Have you ever watched tape with Bryce of your own tape and said, hey, this is what I was thinking on this. This is how contextually you can learn from this?
Bryce would probably laugh at that question because anytime we install a play or something, I'm usually the first one to be like, here, check this out. Watch me do this. Or look at this touchdown. And I'm not the only one. Josh can do it too. So both of us kind of go back and pull from our archive. All right, that's this play. All right, this reminds me of back in 2013 when I did this, or all that kind of stuff. So there's definitely things that I go back and show them some stuff that I've done.
Has this week been more fun?
For me, obviously.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's always nice because I've had a certain way of operating like my whole career. And I think when you go from starting to being the backup, that's one of the things that you miss. Is the scout team's one thing, you're looking at a card and you're running the other team's offense, but when you get a chance to kind of take ownership of what you're doing and to know how you want it to look and how you want it to feel, and you actually get to execute it, I mean that's what makes football fun.
As a backup, anytime you go in, I'm not trying to start a trouble, but as a backup, are you going to get your job back? Is that the mindset? Like, I'm going to do something that gets me back where I want to be?
My goal is to win, and especially here, this is Bryce's thing. I'm not here to make this a competition, make this anything. I'm here to help the team.
We're all good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.